We're going to start off shoulders width apart, always running through that checklist. Remember, Tai Chi is meant to heal our body. That starts at the ground up. Look down at your feet, shoulders width apart. I really want this to become the most natural thing for you every day of your life. Next thing we always check in on, knees not locked out. Nice little bend. Allows us to soften through that lower back area. Don't tuck too far, but just don't have that kind of arch in your lower back. We're trying to just relax it down a little bit. Fingertips brush the sides of our thighs. Our head lifts up. And remember, the arms aren't going to be slammed next to the body. We're going to have that little bit of space under the arm. So the first one is called Like Water's Wave. We're going to rotate those palms facing back, and the arms are going to lift up to shoulder height and shoulder width apart. From here, the upper arms go down first, then the forearms, and the palms come and sit in front of your hips. So we'll inhale and lift those arms up. Exhale and press down. I'm going to turn so you can see, you can stay where you are. So we're going to inhale and come up to shoulder height and shoulder width. Exhale, bend into the legs and sink down. So moving with your own breath, standing up, everything arrives together, and then sinking down. You're truly going to let go now. So I want to see everyone moving at a different pace, fully relaxing the upper body, feeling nice and heavy through those legs. Feel that strong push as you rise up, and then nice and heavy as you sink down. Beautiful. Feeling light and airy through the arms. Our goal is to coordinate our upper and lower halves. And don't forget, let those shoulders hang down nice and low. Find that length from the crown of your head to your tailbone. And we want to feel a wave move through the body. So it starts in the legs. It moves through the waist and the spine. And then it's expressed in the hands and fingers. Beautiful. Maybe you close the eyes, challenging the balance, bring the focus inside. So maybe feeling that weight sink a little bit more. Allowing us to just fully move with our own breath. That's the goal here. Tai Chi is about connecting the breath with the movement and coordinating the upper and lower halves of our body. So everything arrives together. Welcome. Just moving at our own pace for a moment. We'll do a few more rounds. So feeling that flow. And then that last one, we press down. And we're just going to stand up and return to that original position. So just returning to prepare. Okay, let's take a moment shaking out in between. Remember, all of the movement comes from our middle body, just letting go. Let the palm strike the lower back. Turning on what we call our Tai Chi pole, so our spine is nice and straight. And we're moving from our middle body. So we're not truly turning from our hips. We want to warm up that middle lower back area. Nice. This is one of the best things to do for our spine right here, releasing tension through the arms, bringing that health and wellness back through our spine as we lift through the crown of our head, bringing that space to our vertebrae. And then we'll slowly ease off. So that means from our middle body, we gently ease off until we come back to center. All right, shake out the arms, find that middle ground again, or that relaxed, prepare position. And we'll lift the arms up this time. So inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Make sure the shoulders stay down wherever that is. Bend at the elbows. Fingertips are going to point together and the palms press down to the hips. So we have a lot of arm rotation here. So rotate the whole arm so that the palms face up and then together. Bend at the elbows and press down to the hips. Beautiful. So again, as we stand, we're inhaling. We can even look up. And then we sink down into the legs, press down to the hips. And as you stand up nice and slow, you get that big arm movement looking up and then sinking down. Beautiful. So again, we're going to move with our own breath. We're going to move in our own way, finding that lightness through the arms. Nice and relaxed. Maybe they only come up a little bit. Just depends on your shoulders. Do we have that full rotation, or do we need to kind of relax a little bit more? Beautiful. One of my favorite things is when I didn't cue you and every single person here is moving at their own rate. That's what these are about. Being smooth, even, and continuous. Doing a few more rounds. Gathering energy in and then pressing through the front of the body. Nice Qigong exercise as well. You want that little bit more energy, really reach through the body as you come up and then really soften as you sink down. Beautiful. We'll do 2 or 3 more. Just moving in your own way. Really feel those legs nice and heavy. And remember, you can always end with or after me. This one, we do a half a circle. So we're going to do half of this movement and bring the arms to shoulder height and shoulder width with those palms facing down. And then we're going to do the first one, upper arms, forearms, and palms. Come down to the hips, and then we return to that original position. Okay, let's let go one more time. So turning from that middle body, just let the arms go. Finding that lightness one more time. Very nice. Do a couple more turns from side to side. We're going to slowly ease off. Back to center one more time. All right. Coming back, relax, nice and slow. Don't ease off too quickly. All right, roll the shoulders, find that neutral position. Something a little bit different today. We're going to inhale and lift the arms up, gathering energy towards the heart. And then we're going to push the arms straight out to the side, stretching through those palms. So inhale, coming to center. Exhale, press out to the side. Inhale, and then exhale. So if you want to visualize, inhale, gathering energy. Exhale, releasing what doesn't serve you. This is a really good thing for clearing through the body as we experience a lot of emotions through the holidays. So turning that focus inward, drawing in, close the eyes, and then press out. Nice stretch through the arms, gathering in at your own breath, your own rate. We'll do a few more. Really push out to the side, and then come into center. We'll do a couple more. All right, one more. When we push out, this time we're going to reach up to the sky. Reach up, up, up. And then float down the body one more time. All right, release the arm. Today we're going to work on a little bit of upper body shape. So within our Tai Chi practice, we have some standing still practice. We have our moving practice. So today I want to include some of that still practice. So just working on our upper body shape a little bit so we can find that relaxed feeling. We're going to come into what we call as a hug a tree position. So in this position, I'm going to lean forward so you can see it should look like you're wrapping your arms around the biggest tree. And then you have that nice gap between the fingers here, okay? Our elbows and shoulders should always hang down. The next thing we want to talk about is our chest. So here we don't want to lift too much. We want to relax down. We call it chest sinking in and back rounding up. So we're not going to round too much. We're not going to lift too much. We have to find that in between. So as we're here, we're going to sink into our legs just a little bit, and we're going to work on some middle body or waist turning. So take a moment, let your arms find that nice relaxed position. Remember, even though we're opening up through the joints, we still want to find lightness through the arms. Okay, so from here, the first thing we're going to do is just that turning that we know so well. So we're going to turn from corner, back to center, and then to the other corner. Now, if your legs ever start to hurt, you can sit in a chair. Sitting in a chair as we do this movement from corner to corner really helps with stabilizing our hips so that we can really focus in on that middle lower back area that we call the waist. So this is where the energy is in our body. It's in the center. And we want to open up and find the flexibility through that spine area to turn. So there's a few exercises we can do. This one should feel relatively simple. It's a more controlled version of having our arms free flow from side to side. Okay, let's do a couple more rounds. Again, corner to corner, moving at your own rate, really just focusing in on feeling your torso move from side to side. Okay, one more round, corner to corner, and then back to center. Let those arms hang down, whew, and shake them out, okay? Now, if you have a chair, grab it for a moment, okay? I want to kind of bring in something new for you to play with throughout the holidays here. And this is a really good thing to do even while sitting on our sofa, okay? So having a chair that's solid is really important, not something that's going to swivel. You can do this standing as well. I just want you to see how this changes it. And if you have a chair, to feel the difference of not having your hips move, okay? So make sure you're on the front of your chair so that your feet are connected to the ground. You're sitting up nice and tall, and you bring your arms back up. So we just did this from corner to corner exercise, right? So now you can feel what it feels like by having your hips connected in a chair, okay? Now I want you to play around with another movement. So coming back to center, we can also go from side to side. So using this middle body here, going side to side. So the hips are not moving too much. You'll feel a little bit of weight shift, but we're warming up our spine. And I'm kind of exaggerating here so you can really see, but just a small movement is good. Okay, so now we have this side to side. We're warming up our spine this way. Well, what else can we do? We can do a figure 8. So we can go to the front corner, turn, and really draw a figure 8 with our waist. So using our ribs to really kind of rotate and turn. So we're using our spine, we're building core strength, we're building flexibility through our spine. Okay, we're working on our breath. And then we go the other direction. Now you're going to notice that one figure 8 is going to feel a lot easier to do than the other. So we're really focusing in on turning from our waist, okay? So we're using this whole area to kind of maneuver through our body, okay? We're opening up our spine, okay? So come back to center, feeling that difference in your spine now and feeling that movement. The other option we have is kind of lifting our heart or our chest. So we lift a little bit and then round. So it's like a up and back. It's a smaller movement in our spine, but it's still like a wave moving through the body. Now, this is what we use when we do like water's wave. Now, if I exaggerate and you do like a big movement, it's similar to yoga, but in Tai Chi, it's very relaxed. It's smaller movements. It's not as noticeable from side to side or some front to back, and we have side to side. Okay. So let's go back to that hug a tree position and just go back to our turning. How does your spine feel different now? Does it feel a little bit looser? These are incredible exercises that we can include in every class. We can include these every day to bring back that flexibility through our spine, to bring back that flow of blood and energy freely. Come back to center, shake out the arms. Now, yeah, how do you feel? We feel different, right? So these are really good things that I want to start including in our practice, okay? This is a big part of our Tai Chi practice that we haven't really touched on yet, but it's the basics of all of our movements. So things start through the ground, they move through our waist, and then they go out to the hands and fingers, okay? So I want to start including more of this because it builds our strength and it allows this area of your spine to really open, okay? All right, any questions? All right, we've worked our upper body a lot, okay? Let's go down to our legs for a little bit for some Tai Chi walking, okay? So remember, this is all about moving nice and slow. Now we have some new people today, so I want to give a breakdown on a bow stance before we get started. Okay, so we always start in prepare. Okay, this is our shoulder width apart stance. I'm gonna mirror you. So you're gonna shift your weight to your right leg, and then you're gonna turn and open your left toes 45 degrees. So if you look down, that should truly be 45 degrees from your right foot. Okay, when you sink down, you're going to sink into this leg, keep that knee in line, and you're going to naturally step out. So wherever your foot touches, don't reach, just naturally heel touch, ball of foot, toes, bend the knee, and then push 60% of your weight to your front leg. So your goal is that if you turned on your left heel, you would have two lines between your feet. Okay, so we have stability from side to side, and I'm going to turn now. We want our knee over our ankle. So we want to avoid this. We want the weight centered on both of our feet. And our hips are going to be turned open, no matter if our torso is to that same direction or turned to straight. This is where that waist training comes into play, right? So our hips stay open, but our waist may turn so that our torso goes to straight, okay? Now, shifting your weight back, can you easily pick up? If it was difficult or you had a jerky movement, step a little bit smaller and then move forward. Remember, the length of your stance this way does not matter. Everyone's going to have approximately the same shoulder width, but that length is going to be different, okay? So shifting back, we're going to go into the other side. So starting and prepare, shifting to your left, turn and open the right toes. Sink down, knee in line, wherever's comfortable. You don't have to go low. Just a little bit is enough. And then step out. Heel, ball of foot, toes touch, and then move forward. Okay, check. Hips are open. We're not squared and turning that knee in, right? We're keeping both knees in line, using those inner thighs. Knee over the ankle. Yes. Okay, shift back. Can you pick up? If it was difficult, step a little bit smaller and go back out. Okay, one more time. Shifting back, pick up, return. Okay, so what we're going to do now, Tai Chi walking, bow stance to bow stance again and again. Are you ready? This is a great thing to practice throughout the holidays when we don't see each other. This is something that incorporates all of our Tai Chi principles and includes every aspect of Tai Chi into one exercise. So if you would like, you can hold your arms in this hug a tree position. If you feel any sort of tension through the neck, the shoulders, just relax them down. It's not necessary, okay? It's just an added bonus. But by the end of 45 minutes of holding your arms up, that can feel pretty intense. So moving back in your space, we're going to bring our arms up if that feels good. All right, remember I'm mirroring you. So shifting to your right, turn and open those left toes. Sink down, step out. Now move forward and turn your waist to straight. Okay, shift enough weight back that you can open up your right toes 45 degrees and now pour that weight back in. Don't stand up, just pick up that left foot and then step forward. Shift and turn from your waist. Good, move back, open, turning, pour that weight in, moving nice and slow, step out, and then move forward and turn. Very nice. Okay, drop the arms, run through our checklist. What's your head lifting up? Shoulders are down. How's your lower back? Are we relaxed? Okay, knee over ankle? Yes. Okay, final check. Can you shift back and pick up? How did we do? Okay, remember, it doesn't matter how long you've been practicing, how much Tai Chi you've done, this builds the foundation for everything else to become lighter, okay? So this is where we really want to focus our attention. I'll tell you, 20 years in, I still learn something every time I work on this exercise. Every single time I work on something, I feel something new in my legs or alignment, okay? So this is a really great thing for us to do. Let's go back in our space. We're going to do this a few times. So going to the other side, arms up if you would like. This time shifting left. Turn 45 degrees. Sink down. Step out. Now notice how the torso is turned here. That allows us to step out easily. Then we turn our torso as we pour that weight in. Okay, shifting back. Keep both knees in line. Open. Pour that weight in. Don't stand up. Just slowly move forward. Good. Okay, one more. Shift back. Turn and open. Slowly pour that weight in. And then step out. And move forward and turn. Okay, checklist. Head lifting up, shoulders down, even if the arms are up. Okay, drop the arms. How's your lower back? Which direction are your hips? Are they open? Yes, good. Okay, yeah, they should be open that little bit. Knee over ankle. Weight centered in both feet. Good. Okay, now shift back. Are you able to pick up? Woohoo! Nice job. Okay, now let's do it both sides. So remember, these are all things that really start to help heal our body. They say our age is kind of determined by our leg strength. So how many people want to be able to get up off the floor without hands? This is it, okay? This is where we start building that leg strength, and we do it through moving very slowly, okay? And having that proper alignment, because when our knee is in line instead of being turned in, if it's perfectly in line with our foot direction as we step out, we're building strength in new areas, okay? So this is what we really want to focus on, and moving slowly allows us to do it. So arms up again if you choose, starting in prepare or shoulders width apart stance. This time shifting to your right, opening your left toes 45 degrees. Sink down, keep that knee in line. Step out with the right foot. Move forward and turn. Okay, shift back. Open. Now I really want you to feel, push and pour that weight in nice and heavy. Now step out. Now, when you step, I really want you to think push with that right leg and receive that weight in the front. Okay? Now pushing back, turn, push and pour that weight in nice and slow. Feel the intention, okay? So now push with that left leg. Did it feel different? Yes, no? Okay, we're gonna do one more round and then we're gonna focus in on that because that's how we build the strength, okay? So from here, arms up. Okay, this time, shifting right. Open the left toes, sink and step out. Heel, ball of foot, toes, and then push and turn. Okay, push back. This is the hard part. Both feet are open to the corner. Both knees need to be in line for a second. Pushing and then stepping out. Now push and connect to your legs. Okay, open, push back. Now pour that weight in nice and heavy and step out and push forward. I saw different in your movement. Okay, now I want to do this with push. So push is our most basic movement in Tai Chi, right? This is where we can really start to feel that flow. So a couple of things before we get going on push again. Our hand shape. Remember with our hands, little gaps between our fingers, okay? So never too kind of tense, not too crumbly, perfectly in between. Now remember, when we're doing any sort of movement with our palm going forward, it's not going to be flat palmed. It's not going to be the edge. It's going to be like you're holding a ball almost, okay? So we're using this L portion right here, okay? We're not using the whole flat palm. We're not using the edge. We want to think this right here, okay, is what we're pushing with. Great thing to do against a wall, okay? Why are we talking about this? Because we're going to be doing a lot of push. And if we're trying to do push like this, it's going to hurt. We want to relax, okay? All right, so push. We're going to go from shoulder height and then down to our ribs. So we start at rib level. Remember, the one thing I want you to check in on is not too low, okay? Really make sure the hands are sitting in front of your chest. And now we're going to push up to shoulder height, still having that nice bend in the arms. And when we push, shoulder width apart, okay? So from here, we're going to flatten and then just come back and sit up the palms. And then we're going to push, okay? So we'll take that second to flatten. We'll come back over a ball and we'll push, okay? So this is what we're going to be doing. Flatten, draw back, and then push, okay? We can get into more detail about that later, but I want you to focus on your legs, okay? So we're going to start. We're going to face the same direction so we can all move in the same way for a moment, okay? From here, you're going to shift your weight to your right leg. Now turn and open those left toes, 45 degrees. Sinking down, I want you to step out naturally, okay? Move that weight forward. Okay, now move back. I want you to check. Can you pick up? This is very important for this exercise. Okay, good. All right, from here, I want you to imagine you're pushing something heavy. What would happen? It's not just going to be a moving, right? We're not just going to move like this. I'm doing push, right? This is doing push. But watch the difference. Push. Okay? So using the legs and pushing. Okay? So I want you to feel, as we do this arms, this kind of helps us envision what we're doing. We're going to be pushing out of this leg. But what happens? If you just pushed, you would fly forward, right? So we need support from our front leg. So it's like a spring, okay? We want to push, but we want to receive with the front leg, okay? So push and support, okay? Push and support with the legs. So now, really using that kind of moment of having that spring action, push with the palms, flatten, come back over the ball and sit them up, and then make sure legs, waist, arm, everything arrives together. Okay, so coming back, make sure that your leg does not stop moving until your hands have arrived. Okay, this is what I'm trying to show you from this angle. It's not going to be arms and then legs. It's not going to be legs and then arms. We want to kind of really have that spatial awareness that we can arrive together. Okay, so coming back, I want you to play around with this. Move a couple more times. Maybe you move a little bit quicker, okay? Maybe you slow it down even more, okay? I want you to find your own connection for a moment. Find your own way to move. My only thing I ask of you is to feel your legs working, okay? So feel strong through your legs and feel 100% light and airy through your arms. Okay, let's do a couple more on this side. Coming back, relax, and then push out, okay? All right, release the arms, whew, shake out the legs, okay? Your legs should start feeling it a little bit now, okay? We should start feeling new muscles working. Why? Because we're focused so much on alignment and really using that push and support, okay? We're gonna do the other side, all right? So that side that we did is the traditional side we do push on in the hand forms, okay? So this time from prepare, what are we gonna do? We're gonna shift our weight to the left so we can open up our right toes. Then we're gonna step out into our bow stance. Now check, can you pick up? If it was hard, step a little bit smaller, okay? It should always be natural. You shouldn't have to like force yourself back and you shouldn't be reaching out, okay? Finding that in between, okay? Now, again, feel the difference of just moving. See how I'm kind of floating up and down? See how the hips are, it's like a rise and fall happening, okay? We want to stay, we've sunk down to this level. We're using our legs and our hips are going to stay at this level. There's no up and down. It's just forward and back, okay? Now, to be clear, I'm going to turn for a second, keep moving. Is it directly forward and back like this? No, it's a little bit diagonal because you're going towards your front leg and then you're going towards your back leg, okay? So that weight pours 60% to the front and then to the back, okay? So we're moving forward and back on a little bit of a diagonal, okay? So now if we include our arms, hands sit up in front of the chest. Remember, not too low, little bit higher, relax. So maybe they're a little bit more in front. And then we push to shoulder height and shoulder width. Flatten, come back over that ball, and then push. Okay, so again, I want you to feel, are you using your legs or is it just moving, right? Because I'm still doing push here, but I want you to use legs, waist, and then out to the arms. So feeling those legs guiding the movement out to the hands and fingers. So moving in your own way, I want you to connect with the footwork. Feel like your feet have grown roots into the ground and you're strong and heavy, and then you're kind of floating with those palms. So maybe you need a little bit more movement. Maybe you need to move a little bit faster to feel that. Or maybe you slow down so then you can feel legs and arms arrive together. Yes. So this is where, are your legs in line? When you shift back, is your knee in line with your ankle or your foot to the corner as you push. Let's do a couple more. Remember to lean into it, okay? Whenever we do these movements, we don't want to sit up and lean back. Energy gets caught here in the chest. Sink down, fold from the hips, and keep that angle when you push so you get one line from your heel through your leg all the way through the crown of your head. Let's do a couple more. Beautiful. Last one. And release. Shake out the legs. Okay, let's just turn from our waist for a moment, get that flexibility back, get those feet shoulders width apart, perfectly straight, and now just let go. Find that turning through your spine. Great exercises for our legs. Really brings energy and kind of heat through the body. And this is a good way to let go. All right, we'll ease off of this. We're going to take a moment, coming back to looking up at the moon, settling that energy down. So feet, shoulders width still. Inhale, we'll lift those arms up. Exhale, press down. So again, moving with your own breath, we'll lift up and stand up. And then we'll just kind of settle down, maybe not sinking very far now. If you do sink down, feel the difference in your legs. Try to include that push and support, feeling heavy and strong. And then really let the arms go. This is where we can let go and release the tension through our upper body and just relax and feel the flow. All right. Let's do 2 or 3 more. And remember the last one, we're going to do a half a circle. So those palms come out in front, facing down. So standing up, shoulder height, shoulder width. And then we do upper arm, forearms, and then palms sinking down. Taking that moment and then returning to our original position. Oh, such great work today. All right, we'll close class and then we'll take a moment to talk. So thank you so much for joining me today. Great work. Thank you so much. Oh, and happy holidays, right?